All right, today is 12th, 11th of December 2021, and today's topic is universal law number 10, which is a famous law of karma. So we'll discuss about law of karma today. Law of karma is a simple, and I explain that in many of my workshops as well, so for the understanding purposes. Law of karma, it is simply the law of conservation of energy. Like I give an example, like a pendulum. There's a pendulum is there. Some say some ball is hanging from a rope. If you put a pendulum into one side, as long as you hold it there, put some force, it will stay there. Moment you release, it will go to equal and opposite side, maybe a few times, and then come to a neutral position. Why the movement is happening? Because that the pendulum bob needs to come at the neutral position, energy neutral position, where you don't need to apply any force to stay there, it will come there. That is a neutral position. With whatever we have in our free will, thoughts, words, and action, what I'm going to think right now, what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do, it is completely in my hand. Nobody comes in between. These three things come under our free will. We can use free will to control this anywhere, or we choose not to control. That is also fine. But we can. As it is in our free will and fully under our control, if by using this, we disturb the pendulum, we disturb the energy balance of the system of anywhere, then it has to come back automatically. For that, you need not to do any effort. The moment it is released, then the pendulum has to come back, and then it finally settles. Same thing with that. If by words and actions and thoughts, it created any kind of imbalance anywhere in the energy level, that needs to come back to settle that. And in law of karma, so by our own actions or thoughts or words, if those are created, it has to go back to the equal and opposite. So if that means if I have, let us go to some extreme. If I have got cheated some money from someone, I also get cheated that amount of money to balance that energy level equation, because I created that. So it has to go to that. Any kind of disturbance. Suppose there is let me understand, other than pendulum, let me give you another kind of understanding also. Suppose there is a water surface is completely calm. You put a stone into it, then there'll be some wave. That wave, there'll be one peak, one crust, like there'll be an up and down. The ripples will be felt till the water comes back to this original state again. That the stone itself created some water to jump, so it has to go back to the original position. And before going to original, it will go down again and up again. That creates the ripple. That will be felt as well. So because of the disturbance happened on the surface of the water. So similar way, there are, we can give a lot of examples, but I hope the message is clear. If any disturbance is created, it has to go back to the equal and opposite, and maybe several times to neutralize it. So for the sake of just understanding, say it is just once, like you release the pendulum bob from one side, it go equal and opposite side, same distance, and come back neutral. That's it. Let us for the sake of understanding once. But it actually happens, some rippling effect is also there. So in this, so that means that all the source of the karma is our own actions. So every action has equal and opposite reaction. That is the law we know in the physics also. We say Newton's third law. So that is based on this energy conservation principle. It has to come to the energy neutral position. Now, what happens is not that why we feel that something is happening to us, but there is no reaction, or something from done. Just now we are discussing about Sonika, about her experience. So why that the reaction or the settlement doesn't happen? Sometimes it actually happens, but the time difference between occurring and the reaction, that makes us the illusion that it is not happening. Most of the people's the experiences of life is the thug, cheat, and imposters. They are enjoying their life, and the honest people who are doing good work, they are suffering, isn't it? Most of the people have this experience. The example why the underworld don is enjoying his life, and we are suffering and struggling to earn just to survive. Yeah? So we are good. We didn't do anything. मैं तो किसी का कुछ नहीं बिगाड़ा, मेरे साथ ही क्यों हो रहा है? All this kind of stuff. This thing, basically what is happening is there is no going away from that. Whatever is, somebody is creating karma and somebody is what is called settling the karma. So you are on the settling stage, you will feel that you have done nothing, but you need to still suffer and you need to still do some painful experiences. Yeah, because you are closing the account. Somebody is opening the account. It is look like, having like using credit card. You say, you was enjoying life, but you are creating credit. It has to be paid sometime. Yeah. Now, because of this time gap, these illusions are created. The bad people are enjoying, good people are suffering. It's not that. If you see the overall, it is all balanced. If you see the period of, say, 500 years, it is all balanced. Okay, everything is balanced. But we don't live for 500 years. 500 and 1000, I'm just giving some example. It can be more to settle everything. Because we don't live something, sometimes what happens, we do something, okay, and then we have a limited life period. Say we have 100 years life. After 100 years, the life is over. 80 to 100, whatever it is. But that energy is not going anywhere. So what it happens is, because as I explained earlier, our lower two, we have a 7-body system. Lower 2 body gets dissolved at the time of death, physical death. It goes into some karmic account, some storage. It's stored into our 5th body. 5th body is Karan Deho, the reason for everything. So there the account, the file is stored there. When the next birth comes, from that file gets downloaded and needed to settle. If somebody has taken loan from the bank, and whether whatever happened in the bank's account, it will be there. Whether the person is still working, not working, running, not running, what is age, doesn't matter. Account will be there till it's settled somehow. So same here. So it is not going anywhere. It will be there. So then these kind of processes is called, I'll come to that different types of how it works a little later. Let's understand that. It is over, next life comes. If there is no opportunity, going to the next, finally it happens. Suppose I have, promised somebody to marry, but I didn't marry, but could not marry. And another life, the same situation will be created when those 2 persons in the different body will come, and the marriage has to happen because that has been deceived in one life. Another life, it has to happen to settle that. So, and again, this plays out unless everything is closed between the two soul consciousness. It cannot go away with that. It cannot go cheating somebody and get rid of it. It's not possible. We think it is an intelligent thing to do, but it is not going anywhere. It will come back. So as I said, because it is a different life, people forget what happened in the earlier life. So of course, the brain and the memory got in the new life, so they don't know. So they think it is suffering, or why some person is creating problem for me, but it may be linked to some past life events where it happened other way around. So this is how the karma plays. Okay. Now let me go into that what is the different types of the karma. When I told you about if we do something, if the result is imminent, it doesn't get stored. There are some action reaction happens immediately. Like you put a hand into fire, your hand gets burnt. Action reaction same time, nothing stored. So you don't have that need to go into the storage thing. It is settled then and there. Something is there in happening in the immediately, almost in the same time or even the same lifetime. It doesn't get that kind of storage. Now, if that something is done but the balance has not happened, then it will go to the storage. I told you, fifth body. It is called sanchita karma, like stored. When it is stored like a coded form, like a coded file, you can say. It is also called karma bij. Okay, the seed of that has been stored there. So whatever we do, if it is not settled immediately on that same time, it will go there and it will stay there. Now, based on our lifespan, at a certain point of time, let us not go back to the next slide business, say the same life. So after the storage, another point of time will come, whether it is favorable to give that result, to settle that. So what happens is that karma bij gets downloaded. From fifth body, it's come to all the way. Yeah. The fourth is the knowledge body, then emotional body, then the energy body, and then it enters the physical body. Okay. That's how it gets downloaded. So when it gets downloaded from energy body to our physical body, means through our Sushumna Nadi, our energy channel, it's get downloaded. And the moment that karma bij is downloaded, it's like planting a seed on the ground. Earlier, the seed was in some kind of container or glass jar. That is a storage. Now that storage, that seed has been now planted. Now water will be given, it will come, if the plant will come and it will give you the fruit. That will also may take some time. That plantation happens in your buddhi, in your intellect. Okay. You understand the process? It comes from the fifth body, it's lower down. When the time is favorable, it down and enter into our body through our energy channel, Sushumna Nadi, where all 7 chakras are there, that body. And then from that, it catches our intellect. It means whatever our operation of the brain. And that then, in nobody else, our own intellect operates us to do that. Suppose we need to get a punishment. We need to be jailed. Our mind will say, "Okay, I will steal something. Nobody will catch me." This kind of buddhi will come. By attempting to that stealing, I will get caught. I will be punished and put into jail. So whatever jail has to happen, it will happen that way. But a buddhi, that what runs that will come from me only. If I don't attempt stealing, I will not get caught also. That's why it is called buddhi karmanusarini. Means our buddhi, it is run by the karma, because this seed has planted that kind of stuff into our mind to get that operated. Or some people say there is a famous saying that, vinash kale viparit buddhi, like whenever the time of destruction has come, your intellect gets reversed, because you only create that kind of situation. So sometimes maybe unconsciously, you may not be knowing that you are doing it, but unconsciously that gets manifested. Earlier laws we have found that even if it is an unconscious pattern, unconsciously, that will get attracted to you. So you have a power. So we have to be careful, whatever thinking, whatever perceiving, whatever thinking. And most of the time, our ego plays a role here. They think they are the best and they are most intelligent and all. So the mind that tricks it and you fall into that trap. And that's how it gets played out. And then it gets settled. That Bij, finally, it gives fruit. Whatever the fruit, as per the seed, it can be good also. If a good thing is done, you will get a good fruit. And if it's a bad thing has been done, it will give a bad fruit. It is a poisonous fruit. You have to face that poison. So this is how that karma works. So when you have done something, it goes uploaded there. It's called Sanchita karma. When it is get downloaded into your system back, it can be same life, it can be different life. As I said, that fifth body will remain with the all the whole package of 7-body system that I already explained earlier. So it will, even next to next life, whenever it is the favorable time, it get downloaded, and then it will catch your intellect. Through your intellect, it will be operated. You will behave that way, and that is the consequence you will face. So this part is called prarabdha karma. First is sanchita karma, which is stored, and when it is get downloaded, it's called prarabdha karma. Now, third part of it, when you are doing it, you are creating a new karma that is called kriyaman karma. You are doing it now, result will be felt later on. So these are the three main type of karma category. Okay, first is kriyaman karma, what you are generating right now through your actions. Then if the result is not given immediately or maybe within a almost a nearby time, it will be stored into, that is called karmic account, which is stored into your fifth body. And from there, whenever the time is ripe, it will come downloaded, and it will capture your intellect, and through your intellect, the result will be seen, and this is called prarabdha karma. So this is how the karmic cycle works, and that is the karmic account. So which is maintained to some extent. If it is something coming from the previous lifetime, etc., you have a lot of the karma bijas are stored there. So whatever, sometimes through your astrological chart, like a planetary positions, some astrologers can find out something, that when some event can happen, those events are already stored there. Based on that, they can calculate which is the most favorable thing to happen. Like suppose you have a luck of getting a lottery. So which is the time, if you can most likely to get that lottery, they can predict, because of planetary position, some favorable time will come, and that time if you do it, you will get it. Something like that. The same thing about the other, like not so good, something they are having a tendency to fall sick. Maybe it will be detected with cancer or something. It will also have some certain kind of time. So they can predict that kind of time. It may happen. Most likely, there is no guarantee in life. Everything is reprogrammable. Okay. But mostly it happened like that. So this is how that works, and this is how that is being, the karma thing has been played out. Okay. Now, let me go to the neutralization methods. Okay, how to neutralize this karma, because we are coming under influence of a karma, and we need to get it. How to neutralize, or at least how to mitigate the effect of such karma. So what we do, I'm coming one by one. So I told you that when the karma getting stored into that fifth body, it's in the karma bij form. It is like a seed. That is storage. I'm talking the storage. Storage to reduce the stored karma, the bij, to reduce it. The technique is, it is called roasting the seed in Dhyan Agni, meditative fire. We do meditation in Chin Mudra, and our 5 fingers, they represent that our 5 elements of they represent 5 elements. Out of that, the thumb is fire element, and this is air element, pointing finger. If you touch like this, then you are giving air to the fire to more. So when you do chin mudra, when we meditate, we ignite meditative fire in the energy level. Okay, that goes into that karma bij, the seed, and roast them. Suppose you have, bought what is called mutter, or the pea, what is it called? Green peas. Okay, the green peas, if you just plant it into the ground and put water, it will sprout. Now, if the same green pea, you roast it in the sand, like you take a kadai and put some sand, and in the hot sand you put that, then the seed, the green pea will get roasted. After it is roasted, even if you put it into the ground, put water, the plant will not come there, because it is roasted. It lost its capacity to grow. Same here. Through our meditation, through our regular meditation, we daily, if we meditate, we roast those seeds so that those karmas will not sprout. That's why all the spiritual masters, they say you meditate, and meditate. And this particular stuff, nobody else can do on your behalf. You have to do on your own to burn or roast your own karma bij, whatever there in the stock. So that is a technique to, so reduce the effect of karma, roast them so that it doesn't sprout. But Kriyaman karma, the first one, was that how to not to bind any new karma. The key is awareness. I need to be simply aware that I should not bind any new karma. The awareness will protect me. How? Suppose while crossing a road, suppose I am walking on foot, I am crossing a road and it is a busy traffic thing. How I should not get hit by a car? Simply by awareness. I should be aware which direction car may come, what type of vehicle are there, what is the condition of the road, what is the distance the road have to travel to cross it, what is my capacity. Can I walk? Can I run? What is the time it will take about my capacity to cross the road? All these parameters are processed very quickly. But I need to be aware of all this. I need to be aware of the cars on the road or trucks or whatever it is, vehicles on the road, condition of the road, my own capacity, and which direction I need to go. I should be aware. I will cross it in this way. And then I cross the road and that completes. So to ensure that I am not fall into accident or hit by a road, I need to be aware of the whole thing. Then only it will happen. Or maybe sometimes whether you are aware of the risk or not, it doesn't matter. You cannot say, I didn't know that car is coming. It hit me. It will hit you anyway. Whether you are aware or not doesn't matter. So whether you are aware of the risks or not, it doesn't qualify you to be saved. It is the awareness will save you. When you are aware that which lane, which type of car can come, whether there is some traffic signal is there, another intersection is there, something can come from left side of me or something of that nature, then you are aware what are the risks, and then you take a calculated risk to cross the road. So this is how the thing works. So that's what we need to do so this awareness will prevent you to get hit. So awareness means if I am aware of the consequences, I will not do it. If I am aware that suppose that electrical socket, the power plugs, maybe if that one 2-year child come and put his finger into that power plug and the socket, he will get a shock, electric shock. It doesn't matter whether the child knows about electricity or not. So it is nothing to do with the knowledge of that. Only thing, how you do not get, why we don't get shock, because we are aware. If there is electricity there. If I touch that, I will get an electric shock. That awareness itself will protect me to get the shock. So this just simply awareness will protect me from getting into the trouble or the rebuff or the reaction from that one. So to protect you from Kriyaman karma is simply awareness that if I do this, I will bind karma, I have to face the consequences. That will protect you. All spiritual masters, they do all the action, zero karma actions. How the zero karma? Because awareness level is so high, they don't do, say, or act something which can generate any karma. And that's it. Whatever they do and say for the betterment of the people, to the service of others, and with the compassionate action, that is the best way not to bind any new karma. Any kind of self-interest may lead to bind karma, because self-interest governed by our ego. When the self-interest become predominant, most likely will fall into the trap of karma again. Okay. It will check you, oh, nothing will happen, oh, I am smart, I may be cheating someone or doing something. Let me enjoy, and there is nothing such thing called rebuff and all this kind of, these are all illusions that are created. Because whatever you say that, cheating someone, pleasure is temporary, but karma is permanent. It will not leave you, it will settle you. It will settle because of its energy. It cannot have it's too smart to put the pendulum in one side and leave it there. It will hang, you are not a magician. So this awareness will not allow you to go into those avenues. If you see the past life, so many times we tried that. We think we are the exceptions. Oh, this law will not apply to me, I'm too smart, Or when the consequences come, I deal with it. Oh, kitne sare dekhe hain. This attitude will put you into trouble. Not everything is under your control. Not even in this aspect, even the best information technology available in the world, whatever the cloud computing or whatever you call it, but it will not reach you there. It will not have that information. It is a being level where the information technology cannot touch. Okay, any external thing cannot touch. Only through human capacity you can reach there. Your being level you can reach there. So at least there is no text message from the other dimension or mobile call. So that is not available. Only connection is through your meditation. So you need to get all the information possible, but through that connection. All right. So Kriyaman karma, we have to be aware so that we not generate any new. No need to play smart. There is nothing called smartness here. Smartness is just deferring it. Okay. Not stopping generation, but awareness will stop generating any new karma so that it don't fall into that trap. Next, Sanchita karma. How to deal with that? I already told you about the meditation. Yeah. Meditative fire, they get roasted and then it doesn't sprout. So if you practice regular meditation, that will reduce your karmic burden, and that is slowly you come out of this karmic, account will be slowly, like you are paying EMI, of your, say, house loan. So one point of time, it is expected to the loan will be over. And third part is the prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma is when it is downloaded already. It is no longer sanchita that you can, by meditation, you can roast it. It is called, from a mountain, a stone started rolling. It's in the movement. Sanchita means in the high level, one stone is there. It's not moving. It's still, you can stop it. Earlier, it is said when prarabdha karma start giving effect, even Dev Devio cannot do anything. That's what's saying earlier. But now we have a divine grace of Babaji. Prarabdha karma, whatever even, all we are suffering because of prarabdha karmas in our lives. And what happens is, if you see in the, going to further technical details, what happens is this, it doesn't come as a one go. It comes as a drip, 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 like a dripping. Drop by drop, it comes, enter into our system, and then it influence our life because of our own intellect. What happens is, as I mentioned beginning, when from the fifth body to fourth, fourth to third, third to second, which is energy body, to first, which is the physical body, the entering channel is Sushumna Nadi, our central energy system. And when we do Kriya, we activate our 7 chakras, and we Kundalini energy, we do it from the root to the above, all 7 chakras. So like we flush it this way, right? That energy, so now you think of that, if you practice daily the Kriya, so whatever the dripping energy level coming into Sushumna Nadi, it gets flushed out. So like there is some channel, you are brushing and flushing every day, so nothing can come there. Nothing can come, enter and go to your intellect. That way you are saved from the prarabdha karmas, if you flush it regularly. If suppose you see a gap of 1 week, maybe few things will go enter into it, and again you clean it. It's okay. But that's how it works. So when the Babaji gave this, the Kriya Yoga, it also saving us from all prarabdha karmas. But it is up to us. No? If we don't implement, it will not happen. As simple as that. But technique is there. More we are aligned ourselves and do this, then no prarabdha karma. If we go to that level of the regularly practicing cleaning and all those kind of things, and with attitude of gratitude, also important. It's not with the suspicion. It's happening, not happening. Accept and thankful for that. It will happen, and we'll go into that mode that it is always clean. So these are the mitigating, the techniques, spiritual techniques for addressing all these 3 types of karma. So with this, I will conclude this learning session. So if there is a question, please come forward. I will answer them.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, Nirupam.
It is also said that along with the karma, the desire has to be settled, all the desires. So how this karma and desires are linked?
See, desires, the prime movers of karma. No? That's what I was telling, that pleasure is temporary, karma is permanent. So before pleasure, that desire has to come. So if, I'm not saying all desires are bad, if some desire having the karma 0 thing, it is fine. Okay, but if the desire driving into the fact that I win, you lose, then it will generate karma. If the desire is going somewhere which is called win-win, you are not harming anyone. You are not, your desire is not at the cost of something or someone. That's fine. Okay, suppose your desire to see sunrise from, say, from a mountain peak. You're not harming anything. Yeah? That's absolutely fine. Okay, so that's no doubt about it. Yeah. But if your desire is okay, I wanted to have that corner plot by hook or crook. I bribe the municipality guys and get that plot allocated against me. So this is having my desire has got means are not fair or not. So I will bind definitely karma. In future, maybe after 10 years from now, I'll get down into some court cases or sink. Maybe those people will be punished. I will also get caught into this one. So that's how it works. So that's what I'm saying, that it is not that our desire, if it is harmless desire. Nothing wrong in that. It's okay. So in that case, next part of the desire is called self-gratification. Let me explain you what is the differentiation between that. Desire with the immediate gratification, like I need it now kind of stuff coming from ego. Your desire with, you leave that result to the divine. You have a desire, you leave it to the divine to happen. It will happen at its divine time. That is called titiksha. Okay. This is spiritual. You can have, like you have the patience to allow the universe to manifest it at its own time. That is fine. So you have some kind of, some kind of desire. You just express it, give it to the universe, and you are not associate yourself with the result and when it is delivered. Ma phaleshu kadachana. Then you are in the spiritual level. But if you are saying that, if I don't get it tomorrow and it is all useless, then you are driving, your ego is driving you heavily. Okay. So that is the differentiation between these two. All right?
All right, yeah.
Okay. Any other question?
Guruji, I have one question.
Yes.
Guruji, for example, a person is diagnosed with some disease, already diagnosed with some disease, and then which kind of karma it will be? For example, he is
Would I say it again? What is that?
For example, a person is diagnosed with some disease. For example,
disease. Okay. Uh-huh.
So now, since it is already started, so which kind of karma will be that, and how this karma can be handled?
No, this is the prarabdha means already happened. This already happened. So in this case, whatever the normal, in this case, you have to give the healing. Okay, like post facto. It cannot be controlled anywhere in the karma level. It's already given result. Like a tree, it started giving fruit. You cannot send it back to the seed. It is not possible. Okay. Now you have to learn how to handle the seed. Or now not to eat the fruit. That you can do. So that is a part of the healing. So it is a post facto. So it has to be healed or medical treatment to be given. It cannot be reversed. It cannot go to the original state because it's already has been manifested. Okay, so it has to be done the other way, mitigating the damage or, the suffering that can be mitigated through healing. Yes.
Another question is just a little bit silly question.
No, nothing is silly. Yeah. So before you get any answer, that is silly. But once you get answer, there is, all silliness or non-silliness goes away. It comes into awareness. That's fine. Go ahead.
So, as you told that with the meditative fire, we can roast the seed. Yeah. But any karma is not linked in the isolation. So any karma will be either linked with some person, some event, something. So for example, a person do the meditation and that seed is roasted. So what about the other person or other soul which is linked with that karma? How that soul will neutralize that karma?
No, see what happens is your part only will get roasted, not the other part. Okay. For the other person, it will be transferred to something else or somebody else. It is only your part will get settled. So, and you have to leave it there because this matter is very complex. It goes into the multiple different other aspects also, but your only business is to roast my part of the karma and that's it. And also sometimes what happens when the karma with the other person happens, even to get the better results also you have to wait. No, there is no need to wait. So normally we suggest just forgive. So forgiveness is disconnection of the energetic connection. Even if settle own karma, but you are still something is due to receive from someone. For to receive, you have to come again to receive it, right? You just donate that. Finish it off. Okay, here no need to play smart. Why should I leave whatever is coming to me and all? It is practical business ideas not to be applied here. No, getting out of it is a first priority. That getting the benefit of it. Johanna, it's a polarity, good and bad. Yeah? Once you come here to collect the good, bad will also get attached to it. Again, you fall into the cycle. Drop it, go beyond level. Whatever you do your own meditation, negative part get burnt, and the positive part you donate, you are free from that level. You're not coming back here. You're not falling into any account, whether it's a collection or a donation, giving or taking. Yeah? So you are going beyond, and that's the way to get out of this karmic cycle. But you say, okay, fine, but I need to collect that. So again, you fall into the trap of that. Yeah? Maybe you collect a little bit more. Then you don't know. Then you'll do that. You know that the famous story of Shakespeare's story. I forget the name of the story. When they said that if something cannot be repaid, equal amount, the gold or something not paid, equal amount of flesh to be cut.
Merchant of Venice.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So it went to the judge, and then you see the contract. Yes, it is written, the flesh to be taken. I'm checking now. You have a time to take it. I'm giving examples so that you understand what I'm talking here. What is the trap here to collect? What is your due? So he said, okay, fine. You say 2 kg of flesh to be cut from the people who defaulter in payment. So you are due. The judge says, okay, you can take that 2 kg of the flesh, but the contract doesn't say you need to take blood. Without a single drop of blood, you take the flesh. You see the trick here? If you apply that law here, take that 2 kg of flesh, you also will take blood, you will bind your karma. I'm just giving example how it works. So don't fall into the trap of collecting the due also. Drop that. It is an invitation for more trouble in the name of collecting the dues. So that's why the spiritually aware, the wise people say, drop it. Forget about the flesh. You donate. You will get free. Forget about the other person. Okay, so if you do that, then you will get free from all those things. And it will actually, that will be your credit. That energy will help you to move faster. Rather than looking downward, you will be looking upward. So that's how it works. Okay, so it answers your question?
Yeah, thank you, Guruji.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Guruji, I have a question.
Yes, Minali.
See, Guruji, when our near and dear ones are suffering physically or whatever, having diseases, so it is their karma, but it is also at the same time, it is our karma also, na? It's not that.
Yes, it's a group karma. Anybody of close relatives, it's a group decision, group karma. Soul level as a group, you have agreed. In this life, this will be faced and this will be the consequences and things like that. Yeah, it's a group, not individual.
Okay, so in that case, if I am doing the kriya, it will solve. I mean, you said that I will burn my karma, but like my near and dear ones, they cannot do. So I cannot do the kriya for them. Na, it is they have to do it only.
No. If you do your bit, whole scenario will get improved, na?
Okay.
See, yeah, if the problem is shared, benefit is also shared in that sense. Then you have to do that. Okay.
Yes.
You being the more energetic, more aligned, everybody will get benefit. See,
Yes.
as per your logic, I'm giving your logic. If some person, because of his, the sickness, everybody else is felt that effect. So your goodness also be felt by everybody associated with it, right? In the same logic.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's the same, that way it works.
Okay.
If you make yourself, more energetic, more aligned, more power, everybody will get benefit from that. Like then you become like a big tree of the family. You give the shelter and shade to everybody else. So
Yes.
that's how it works.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Guruji.
God bless you.